Very good morning, friends. I hope you're all doing safe and healthy. Well, in this particular month, I started off the series on Indus 101, first time adoption of Indus. And in this particular case, we've already made two videos. One was, typically dealing with the timeline, understanding what is the first Indus financial statements, understanding the date of transitions, and a bit about the previous gap. In the second video, I was mainly talking about a case study on a previous gap. Today, in this third video, I'm going to talk in terms of what is the first Indus financial statement. So what you've already told us that let's say the company decides in the year 1617 to make the financial statements as per Indus, you adopt the financial statements for the first time as per Indus, then that is supposed to be the first Indus financial statements. Isn't that simple? Well, technically, yes, but there are certain parameters which we need to evaluate in this particular case to say that yes, it is the first Indus financial statements. In this particular video, let's find this in detail. What are the two parameters which need to be fulfilled before you can say that yes, the financials for the year 1617 is going to be the first Indus financial statements. Let's find this out. जो बच्चे दिसंबर 21 के लिए सी फाइनल की अपनी तैयारी कर रहे हैं उनके लिए आपको एक फाइनल पुश देने के लिए सी फाइनल के अलग अलग सब्जेक्ट्स के लिए आपके साथ हम जुड़ रहे हैं जो कि कंप्लीट फ्री सेशंस हैं अनअकैडमी पर आप ज्वाइन कर सकते हैं इन सेशंस को दिसंबर 21 अटेम्प्ट के लिए जिनके लिए मैं आपके साथ लूंगा फाइनेंशियल रिपोर्टिंग लॉ ले रहे हैं अमित पोपली सर और ऑडिट ले रही हैं खुशबू सांघवी मैम फाइनेंशियल रिपोर्टिंग की ये जो रिवीजन सीरीज शुरू हो रही है ये शुरू हो रही है आपकी फ्राइडे से यानी कि 12th ऑफ नवंबर से इसके अंदर क्लासेस आपको मिलेंगी 12 PM to 1 PM 12 से 1 मंडे टू फ्राइडे क्लासेस रहेंगी इसके लिए आपने करना कुछ नहीं है सिर्फ अनअकैडमी की ऐप डाउनलोड करनी है मेरा कोड इस्तेमाल करना है CAKB10 और आप ये क्लासेस कंप्लीटली लाइव और फ्री अटेंड कर सकते हैं डिस्क्रिप्शन बॉक्स के अंदर आपको इस क्लासेस का एक लिंक मिलेगा जिससे आप क्लासेस को डाउनलोड मतलब जो ऐप है उसे डाउनलोड कर सकते हैं और आप क्लासेस वॉच कर सकते हैं तो आइए आपके एग्जाम्स को एक फाइनल पुश दिया जाए लेट्स क्रैक इट Well, as you can see in a simple little chart, what I've done, I have segregated the parameters of first Indus financial statements into two. The entity's first Indus financial statements are which needs to fulfill both the parameters. Now, what is the parameter number one? The first annual financial statements in which the entity adopts Indus. In accordance with, of course, the Indus notified under the Companies Act 2013. And the second important parameter is that they make an explicit and unreserved statement in those financial statements of compliance with Indus. That means the financial statements prepared has to be totally 100% in compliance with Indus. A couple of questions comes to the mind. Let's say, for example, a company makes the financial statements for the year 1617 as per Indus, but doesn't make an explicit and unreserved compliance that it is in compliance with Indus. Would you call that as a first Indus financial statements? No. Another question what comes to the mind is that let's say, for example, a company makes an financial statements as per Indus for 1617 makes an explicit unreserved compliance statement that yes it is in accordance with Indus and let's say the auditor makes a little disagreement he puts a qualification saying that he has got a disagreement with certain issues that it is a disagreement with the company would that still be considered to be a first Indus financial statements? Yes. So what is important is that you make the financial statements as per Indus, that's one. And then secondly, what is important is that you tell this explicitly in the financial statements that, we made the financial statements as per the Indus. It's in complete compliance with Indus. So you're making an explicit statement and it's unreserved altogether. So any kind of qualification by the auditor on a disagreement would not make any impact. So it would still be considered to be the first Ind AS financial statements. So these are the two main parameters which will decide which financial statements is supposed to be, you can say, the first Ind AS financial statements. So I think more or less this takes care of the terminology. I think we're fairly clear in terms of the timeline, the previous gap, the first Ind AS financial statements, and the transition date. Next video, what we're going to do, we're going to come to some more insights regarding the accounting policies, regarding the estimations, mandatory exceptions, optional exemptions, etc. More coming up. Keep watching. Thank you and bye-bye.